Ancient civilizations have left us with a treasure trove of mysteries and enigmas, challenging our understanding of history. As archaeologists and historians continue to uncover new discoveries, in this video we will discuss much more to the story of our past than what we were taught in school. We will start with the ANTIKYTHERA mechanism, ancient Greek technology. The ANTIKYTHERA mechanism, a complex apparatus found in a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of ANTIKYTHERA in 1901, is one of the most well-known instances of advanced ancient technology. This intricate device, which dates to the 2nd century BCE, is frequently referred to as the earliest analog computer. The sophisticated knowledge of mathematics and astronomy in ancient Greece is demonstrated by the use of its gears and dials to track astronomical occurrences and forecast eclipses. The amount of technological innovation in ancient civilizations has come under scrutiny in light of the discovery of the ANTIKYTHERA mechanism. Next, we discuss about the Yi, world's first seismoscope. The Yi, which dates back over 2,000 years, has the distinction of being the first seismoscope ever made. It originated in China, a nation where earthquakes have been a regular occurrence for as long as anybody can remember. Zhang Heng, a prominent astronomer, cartographer, mathematician, poet, artist, and inventor who flourished from 78 to 139 AD during the Han Dynasty, was its inventor. The Yi's design is both aesthetically beautiful and useful. The mechanism is a sizable copper pot with decorative motifs. 8 tube projections in the shape of dragon heads were attached to the pot. There was a copper toad with a huge gaping mouth below each dragon head. Next we have Mayan calendar. The Mayans had an intricate calendar system that incorporated precise astronomical observations. It consisted of multiple calendars, including the long count, which could accurately track time for thousands of years and allowed for advanced planning of agricultural activities and religious ceremonies. Moving on, we have Damascus steel. Swords made of Damascus steel, which were first made in the Middle East in the 9th century, were known for both their beauty and their longevity. They were also far sharper and stronger than the Western swords used in the Crusades. Their name, which derives from the Arabic word for water, alludes to both the city in Syria from which they originally came and the wavy design that covers their surface. Small ingots of witch steel from India, Sri Lanka, or Iran were melted with charcoal and slowly cooled to form this pattern during a special forging procedure. Since the advent of weapons and armed combat, the need for Damascus steel has gradually declined. By 1850, it was thought that the techniques for producing it were no longer known. Next, we will discuss about the Roman concrete. Roman concrete made it feasible to complete many Roman architectural projects. Roman concrete, often referred to as opus caementicium, was a hydraulic setting cement mixture formed of volcanic ash and lime that, according to Pliny the Elder, united rock pieces into a single stone mass and making them impregnable to the waves every day stronger. The architect and engineer Vitruvius' 10 books on architecture, which was published in 25 BC, has the earliest recorded mention of Roman concrete. Vitruvius advises using pozzolana, also known as pulvis putillanus in Latin, which is volcanic ash from Pozzuoli in Naples. If a construction is submerged, pozzolana and lime should be combined in a 3:1 or 2:1 ratio. Further, we have Baghdad battery. The ceramic pot, copper tube, and iron rod, together known as the Baghdad battery, were discovered in Iraq close to the ancient capitals of the Parthian and Sasanian empires. They think that the 3 different components were originally assembled to form a single apparatus. Unknown is the function of this object, which appears to have been able to produce electricity. The battery was initially discovered by workers of the Iraq Antiquities Department, whose director Wilhelm Koenig first proposed that it may have been used as a galvanic cell to electroplate things. Although this theory was widely accepted when it was first published, it has now been disproven because no electroplated artifacts from the same time period and region have been found. Paul Keyser of the University of Alberta in Edmonton developed an alternative, less antiquated, and hence more tenable explanation in 1993. He said that rather than acting as a galvanic cell, a battery served as a local analgesic that could numb pain by discharging an electrical charge. By doing so, it would have taken the place of electric fish, which were occasionally utilized in Greco-Roman communities to treat headaches, gout, and other ailments. Moving on, we have stonework by the Incas. Without the aid of mortar, the Inca civilization of ancient Peru was able to carve stones with astounding accuracy. Their buildings used polygonal masonry with irregularly shaped stones fitting together so closely that not even a blade could be placed between them, such as the well-known Machu Picchu. Moving on, we have Greek fire. In 674, the Muslim Umayyad Caliphate fleet's ships caught fire as they sought to lay siege to the Byzantine capital of Constantinople. The fact that fire was frequently employed in naval battle and could be quickly put out with cloth, soil, or water did not initially concern the Muslims. But this fire wasn't your typical one. Once it was lit, it was impossible to put out, and after the entire fleet had burned to the ground, the sea itself caught fire. A new military innovation known as Greek fire, Roman fire, liquid fire, or sea fire, among many other names, brought to the demise of the Umayyad Caliphate. Although the formula is lost, historians surmise that it may have contained gunpowder, sulfur, or petroleum. Since gunpowder wasn't widely available in Asia Minor until the 14th century and sulfur lacked the devastation recorded by Arab observers, petroleum seems the most likely choice. However, it is the design of the pressure pump the Byzantines employed to propel it in the direction of their adversaries that makes Greek fires so stunning, not the chemistry of the fire itself. Researchers have a difficult time building a historically accurate pump that could have propelled its content far enough to be useful during naval battles, where enemy ships may be dozens or even hundreds of meters apart, as the British historian John Haldon points out in an essay titled Greek Fire Revisited. Next, we will talk about ancient Egyptian medicine. The ancient Egyptians had an advanced knowledge of medicine and devised a wide variety of medicinal treatments and surgical procedures. They helped people with limb amputations by using medicinal herbs, performing procedures like trepanation, and creating prostheses for individuals who needed them. Up next, we have Archimedes' heat ray. The ancient Greek mathematician and inventor Archimedes is said to have used mirrors or reflecting surfaces in order to concentrate sunlight and produce a heat ray. Despite the fact that the usefulness and efficiency of this technology are still up for question, the story behind it is fascinating and comes from a bygone era. Moving further, we have Inca suspension bridges. The Inca civilization in South America constructed remarkable suspension bridges known as pashuachara. These bridges were made using grass fibers woven together to form strong cables. The Inca people displayed impressive engineering skills in creating these bridges, which could span wide gaps and withstand the test of time. Up next, we will talk about canals and irrigation channels. The Egyptians were the first people to construct canals and irrigation systems, which allowed them to divert water from the Nile River to agricultural lands that were located some distance away from the river. They constructed gates inside the canals in order to regulate the flow of water, and they constructed reservoirs in order to store water supplies in the event of a drought. The ancient Egyptians made use of a device that they termed a shebduf, which was a wheel made of water. It consisted of a long pole that had a bucket attached to one end and a weight attached to the other end. The water wheels were used to hoist the buckets after they had been lowered into the Nile, where they were filled with water. The pole was then swung by oxen in order to allow the water to be drained into the canals that were used to irrigate the fields. We are reminded that history is a complicated tapestry of intertwined stories, many of which remain untold as archaeologists and historians continue to delve into the obscure corners of our past. The discoveries mentioned in this video are merely a small sample of the vast body of information and comprehensions still to be discovered about ancient civilizations. We can only speculate as to what new findings lie ahead as we continue to delve deeper into the mysteries of our forebears, questioning our assumptions and deepening our comprehension of the human tale.